Good evening, good evening, good evening. Noswaith dda. Croeso and welcome to Farmer Ben's YouTube channel. So here we are. This is actually attempt number 4 at this video, which is never a good sign. Let me explain. The main purpose of this video will be to do a couple of the attacks on the tournament, the ongoing mercenary tournament. The first video didn't go very well. Why did the first one not go very well? I think I got interrupted. The second one, the screens were horrendously slow. The third one, I got it wrong and all my heroes died. So this is attempt number 4. So there we go. I was going to do a video about summoning, but I actually ended up doing the summoning. I was trying out a summoning method whereby what you do is you do your daily summon first. So you click on your daily summon, and if you get something rare like a 3-star weapon, 3-star hero, or a 2-star weapon, which are the kind of rarer end items, then you keep going, you do your big summons. So I did a summon like this, and I got, now I got a 3-star weapon to start off with. So then I did another summon there, another daily summon, and I got a 2-star gun, which meant I carried on and did my mercenary summons, on the optimistic hope I might get some decent heroes. I didn't do too badly. I did 4 summons and I got 2 mercenary heroes. So I now have got Wei Sheng here, who is a reasonable hero. It'll be handy if lots of people have minions, but at the minute they're a bit of a shortage really. And Jakek, or Jakek, who looks like a reasonable 3-star. So a couple of mercenary heroes. Obviously the ones you really want are like Blunderbuss and Cassinia, who I didn't get. But there you go. Hey, that happens. So the special event, the Ops, here we are. Mercenary Jungle Showdown, Jungle Boogie, Boodaloo, Doodaloo. Leaderboard is here. There we go. Juxtaposed Camel up at the top. Turder. Interesting. Scarecrow knocked down into 3rd there. Android, Starling. Sort of a few sort of big names up there. I'm all the way down here. Keep going. There we are. 31st. Quite a way down. But I do still have 1 stage to go, so who knows. I was just quickly going to demonstrate. So your scores roughly want to go up. You have odd exceptions where exceptions where they'll go down. You don't, in the early stages, it's all about speed. So I was just going to try and demonstrate on this early stage. Speed is really important. So if you're trying to do it really fast, you take your basic battle items because you don't want to use them in the early stages because they're going to get expensive. You might chuck in a thingamy-bob. Look out for, combos and whatever else have you. Not liking the way there's absolutely no greens on this screen, but I'm sort of trying to demonstrate speed. So as you go in, you kind of, even as I'm talking, I'm making moves and bish, bash, bosh, lots of movement, lots of carrying on, looking for, trying to get combos rolling. The lack of greens. Do you know I haven't even actually had, but look at that, a single green move. That is particularly depressing. There we go. 40 seconds. I tell you, this is, to be fair, this is taking way too long. But there you go. That's where you're up to. Then you might go bim, 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 bim. You might chuck in your things. Probably won't use me shot grenades anymore. Might just lob in them. I don't need to do a power boost because my power is already boosted by the other guys. And 1 minute and 19.2, which is fairly slow, to be fair, for that stage. You should be doing it in, I've still got higher score, but you should be able to do that in under a minute, I would have said, if you are really going for a tip-top score. But, the higher score, I can take that, that's good. Anyway, when you get down to the bottom, which is where we're actually looking at, you need better combat items. Put it simply, you'll die if you just don't, or I would die. So I mean, you probably can beat them without using sort of high-end battle items, but I'm going to be using high-end stuff because it just makes sense, really. Last time I tried this, it all went horrendously wrong, and it may do that again. So let's see how we go. So I've gone with chronoblasters, which are kind of an amazing stop everything from killing you option. I'm going to swap Wallace out. Actually, Wallace has not been doing me a great service, really, because the bosses are so tough that his attack does very, very little damage to them. Just checking I got the best weapon there now still, yep. So I'm swapping in a counter-attacker to just up the damage. The chronoblasters are going to be potentially really important. We'll see how that pans out. Health kits just to keep everyone alive, and the minor charge drinks I find are almost as effective as major charge drinks. The other option could be, in fact, the other option I'm going to go for here, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to put in tactical resets. Use the tactical resets in combination with the chronoblasters, I'm thinking, and hopefully that'll work really well to speed me through it. We'll see. Who knows? Fingers crossed. I'm going to post this video whatever happens, because I can't just keep dodging it forever. I always try and post videos where things do go wrong, but there are limits. Anyway, so here we go. So the first few waves are really not necessarily about speed all that much. You want to be reasonably quick because you don't want to dawdle, but at the same time you want to use the mobs largely to boost your heroes. So for example, if Rana, who's obviously taking a bit of a whack in here, if Rana dies, then I would probably just say, you know what, let's just move on and start again, because at this point I don't need to be losing a hero. Want to at least get them towards the end. Rana, I'm not using her special attack right this second, although I will probably chuck it in now. Let's clear a bit of a green tile. The main heroes I want to be using, well, the main hero I really want going off as often as possible is Crockett. I want Crockett going off literally every chance I can get, so that armour is constantly being boosted. And I want my armour to be as full as possible. I'm going to use, what's his name here? Throttle. Did you say throttle? So I got Flint and Throttle going off there. Kind of trying to just keep everything sort of ticking over, so there's plenty of movement. You'll see now I've already spent longer on the first wave than I spent on the entire all 3 waves of the first mission. So it's a very different sort of kettle of fish. Kettle of fish. Speed is important, but it's much, much harder. I always say, in doubt, aim at the top end of the screen, as it gets more tiles moving, and that paid off there because I got at least a small combo rolling. So if you use the top row, the row closest to the enemies, you're much more likely to move more tiles and thus trigger a combo, even if you can't see one immediately. I always say, if in doubt, look towards the top row, or the top couple of rows. I was about to say there was a 5 in a row purple then, but it disappeared even as I was saying it. Green, there we are, green tiles going off. Let's set, what's his name off, boost my armour again. Let's see, how are we doing? This is, I'm going to get the armour boost ready again whilst we're here. I think everybody's got full health, so I probably don't actually need to do that move there. Armour boost. Oh, I thought I had the armour boost ready. No, not. I'm going mad. There we are. So armour boost's gone off. Boom. Keeping the armour. So you'll see now most of my heroes have nearly got full armour, which effectively means they've almost doubled their health, which is the beauty of armour. And why I'm going to want to be using it quite so much at this point. So when I get to the bosses, that my armour is in a pretty good state. It means I've doubled my health, because once I'm on to the bosses, they start kicking backside in a fairly hefty way, from what I found out on the previous videos. Let's not talk about the previous videos. As always, it's one of these things that I know I'm talking and going along, and there's probably good moves that I'm missing, and there's probably I'm probably making some bad moves and whatever else. It really is this sort of combination of trying to keep it all going reasonably quickly. I know for a fact I'm not going to be making the best possible moves because the aim is speed. If I stop and really focus in on individual moves, there's going to be so many moves on this. It's not like the early stages. You can really focus on your moves because you want your moves to be right. Here it's more of a long-term game, less of a marathon, more of a sprint. Sorry, the early stages are less of a marathon, more of a sprint. This is now a real marathon. I'm going to chuck in, first thing goes the shot grenade to lower their armour a bit. First move, I don't need to worry about their attacks because they aren't going to go straight off. Next move, there we go. Now, ideally, I would probably get Rana ready. I'm not going to do that here simply because it's only a 1 attack and he missed anyway, which was quite handy. I'm going to use this guy. I'm going to toss the screen around because at the moment that is a horrible, horrible screen. That's the beauty of that one. I'm keeping a bit of an eye here. Hang on, let's go for this move here. Trigger a bit of a combo. Okay, I'm thinking this chappie here in the top corner, Wei Sheng. I should know his name because he's one of the ones I've got. Wei Sheng is about to go off. Now I want him to go off and hit me whilst my armour and things are still fairly full. And I've got counterattack up. So he can go off as much as he likes. And that's good. That's when I'm going to throw in my Chrono Blaster. So my Chrono Blaster is going in now. A time stop as well. I'm not going to use that yellow grenade that's sitting there. I'm going to toss the screen around. Now I'm going to use the yellow grenade. None of them have got any chance of moving or generating mana for a little bit. The one I'm really worried about is the guy up in the back. Because he is mean. He's a big meanie. Can see, there we are, he's going to go off again. Let's chuck in another thingamy-bob, and I don't want him getting all that mana up. Let's throw in another jumbly, screeny tactical reset. They're all about to go off, but they aren't generating any mana. Can't really get my guys ready because there's still mana building up, so I'm just going to have to accept a few low-end hits here, but at least they're only the sort of standard low-end ones. Could do with the armour going off again, keeping an eye because I can see that their mana freeze is running low. Time is also ticking away again, which is not, as I say, not unusual. I'm going to freeze that mana again. Toss the screen around with another tactical reset. Hopefully, let's see. Could do with who's ready at the minute. Well, most of them are ready, so let's go for this. So it doesn't matter too much if what's this one's name? Panzer hits everyone because counterattack is up, so that's fine. She can counterattack herself. Gonna lob in another grenade. Toss the screen around again. I think the most dangerous one is this one, Copeland. I keep wanting to call him little electric shock guy. I can never remember his name, but basically, as long as you know roughly who I mean, that's the thing. Little shocky man. You'll see you see the amount of damage they do, and effectively to themselves there because of the counterattack, which is good. Panzer, hopefully here, will now be close to finishing herself off. There we go. The armour is going back up. And no point in freezing his attack, I think. I don't know. Let's just go for this. I'm hoping that his electric lightning bolty Meduda, there we go. I knew it's going to go off. Can't do anything about it. Let's freeze him now. His electric lightning bolty Magoodad is really annoying. I'm not even actually 100% sure how it works. It definitely is taking away turn, receive 100 when receiving a buff. Yeah, so at the moment I just don't want to receive any buffs. So let's just not receive any buffs for a turn. And I would say, right, there we are, tons of those gone into him. Now is probably a good time to receive a buff. So counter-attack is, of course, buff. Chuck in a grenade. Purple, blow those ones up. I do actually want him to hit me now, really. Would be nice. Don't know if the damage is going to get to him in time. Can I want to feed him a ton of mana now just to get him to go off. Buffs are already up, so let's go for it. Come on. Hit them. Taser shot goes off, and he's killed himself. Hurrah! Hooray! And all my heroes are still alive, and health isn't too bad either. So that won't be too bad. 9 minutes 49 though. 105,563. So you can see the difference in time there leading to my score. Well, I've shown true leadership. That was expertly fought. You have put all my mercenaries to shame. Elementary rebate first. I know we can beat them next time. Their luck will run out, and when it happens, we will triumph again. That may be so, but this time the commander reigns victorious. We shall see again in the next jungle showdown. There we go. And I get all my amazing loot, which is why you do all these things in the first place. I've come in 16th. I thought I might be slightly better than that. But that last mission really took a lot out of me, and you can see how my score has dropped on that last one. So I think I'm going to be finishing in the top 100, and I'm just going to have to be content with that. There's more to to try and climb into the top 10 is almost certainly going to be a bit of a push too far. Let's have a quick look. I would need to gain, I'm looking at gaining too much now. It's the board has moved up since I was looking at this earlier on. So I would say I will safely stay top 100, but I'm not going to be looking at top 10, which, is the way it goes. I was vaguely hopeful for top 10, but you got to know your limits, I think, really. And essentially, at the moment, mine is that I've run out of all the battle items I so desperately need to get really high scores, and I want to have something left for the next challenge event. So there we go. So as with everything else in this game, it's all about priorities and what you've got and how good your heroes are and everything else. So there we go. So I hope there was something helpful in there. What you saw me do was a fairly sort of effective, I think, combination of time stops and tactical resets. So I was using the tactical resets to help generate mana, and the time stops to stop my enemies killing me. The counter-attackers really did the hard work. No two ways about it. They made sure the enemies are dead. The mistake I realised, which I was making, I hadn't realised this before because I hadn't really looked closely at the hero. If you go into it, because I've never seen a hero that does this before, it's basically where I'm coming. Well, I think that's where I'm coming from. The hero who was really messing me up is this guy, Copeland, Mr. Copeland, little shocky man. Copeland shocky man. His shock, all enemies receive 112 damage whenever they receive a buff for 3 turns. Now, the mistake I was making, and it's in hindsight a pretty obvious mistake, but it's a mistake I was making, was I was using Throttle, who removes status ailments from your team. So So basically, the shock element, that little lightning bolt that appeared, is a status ailment. It is something which makes your team weaker. I was trying to use Throttle, who removes status ailments, to get rid of it, but Throttle also puts up a dodge. So when the dodge appears, that means that my team are receiving a buff, and because they are receiving a buff, they then automatically suffer the 112 damage from having that put on. So there you are. That is why one of my attempts, certainly, all my heroes died, and it was because they were all low on health. And then I tried to debuff. I tried to remove the shock, and instead of removing it, I actually made it worse, or actually made it kill me, basically. So there you go. One to watch, definitely. I've not seen that before, and one I should have probably paid more attention to before I actually started trying to do the video. Now, I will do my summons now because I may as well. Oh, hello. I'm sitting outside, and there is a hedgehog who has literally just come running over to say hello to me. And he's just scurried off again because I don't think he realised I was here. Surreal. Anyway, let's see who we get. I'm assuming it will be somebody rubbish. It normally is. Kasumi. Oh, well, there we are. That was brilliant. There we are. And that just about sums up my my general luck with summoning. Full stop, really. Never mind. Right. So, yes. So there we are. So I hope there was something helpful in there. Definitely, the heroes in this game, you need to really sort of take a little bit of time to get to know them. And that's where I went wrong with old Shocky Pants. Copeland there. Yeah. Oh, there you are. You live and learn. And my method of what I thought was dealing with Copeland was actually making it worse, because I was trying to remove the shock, and in removing the shock, I was putting on the dodge, and the dodge was then killing the people who were doing it. So they are antidotes. Advanced antidote is very effective against something like shock if you don't have a suitable status ailment remover, and by the look of it, throttle is not a suitable status ailment remover. Anyway, there we go. So thank you very much for watching. I hope there was something in here that is useful to players. As I say, this has been quite an experience for me, quite a learning curve. I hope that everybody does well on this tournament, this challenge event. It's been quite a fun one. I've quite enjoyed it in its own way, and it's given me some good loot. And fingers crossed, I will get some reasonable loot from the actual the finishing. The thing I always recommend is have a quick look at where the reward gaps are, and think about what tier you most likely could reach. Looking at it, I don't think I can make number 10, so I should stay between 11 and 100, which is quite nice. If you're 100, but if I was 97th, I'd probably be looking to boost my score. And likewise, if I was like 103rd, I'd try and push up into the next category up. So think about where you are and how much higher you might be able to get yourself. Yeah, that's it. Aim high. Good luck. Take care of yourselves. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Tell your friends and enemies and everybody else. And may death come swiftly to your enemies. This is Farmer Ben saying good night. Good night.